What's going on, team? Looks like the market is getting the move on. We got through the 400 yesterday. We'll see if we get through 400 today. Can we hold? Yesterday, it seemed like we finally were going to be able to close above there, above the 400. And what do? We put in 439, but already back down to 398.72. We'll see what happens. So many earnings reports came out today, so be careful there, team. Out there, if you haven't gone through the earnings reports, always check out Benzinga Pro. Get your 2-week trial. You guys can keep up with all the earnings. We have as simply as a calendar widget, one-page stop to take a look at all the earnings, right? Well, check it out on Benzinga Pro. Let's get to the action. Live trading right here on Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
The boys. Good morning, team. Let's get it going. Let's get it started. You guys know it. You guys see Ryan Faloona in the house, Zunaid in the house, and of course, you guys in the chat. It's good to see you guys. Let's get towards the trading action. A lot going on. Yesterday, we had a lot of action, and it was good, bad, a little bit of a mixed day. I'm still long on one of the swing trades that we put on yesterday. It was a day trade turned into a swing trade, which is my LAC. We'll see what happens on that trade today. I'll put up my chart right now, share the screen so I can show you guys at least my outlook before the market opened to see if I'm going to continue holding this, right? Well, yesterday we got in this down here, nice and low, right? So one of the things that I'm looking at is, are we going to be able to hold my entry? Because if we can't hold my entry, well, we're probably just going to have to cut it, right? Well, we're going to be right on that because yesterday we got in at 21.33. You can even see in the pre-market, we spiked there for a second towards 22.33s. It could have been a misprint there. I got to look into it. I got to take a look at the FINRA to see if it actually traded above there. But definitely something to keep watch is if we can come back into the range. But what's bringing us down, right? Well, ALB is kind of weighing in on this. The only problem here is that if you looked at ALB and what they gave in their pre-announcement, it was actually a good result. So that just shows us how much the market is dragging a little bit on some stocks. Some stocks beat and gave good guidance, yet are taking a hit today. That just goes to show us that even if we have the earnings, even if we had that pre-announcement by ALB, it doesn't mean that we know exactly where the market's heading. So just be careful today. A lot of stocks are going to be making moves that you might think are not the most logical move. But like always, price action leads. We'll see what happens. All right, getting out of that, I'll leave the SPY outlook really for Ryan. I know Ryan's been doing a great job on that. And why does Ryan do a great job on this? Well, simply as he goes over it, right? With your happy hour team, right, team? And I think that there's a lot of you guys in here that are part of the happy hour. If you guys don't know what the happy hour is, it's a show that Ryan puts on only for Benzinga Pro members. I think it's really great. And it's an environment where you actually have people that are really, truly working towards their investment goals, right? Well, like always, you guys can check that out. Reach out to Ryan or just go to Benzinga Pro, become a member. You guys can join the happy hour. Let's get to the action. What do you got for us today?
All right. Well, I appreciate that. We do discuss the SPY every single day. It drives a lot of what we see here. And one of the reasons it's so effective is because we get so much input. And like I've mentioned before, there's a lot of different professionals from a lot of different areas that come and share their expertise. For example, we're going to have DR Horton, or we had DR Horton. DRI, is that Darden, DRH? Someone help me out with DR Horton's ticker. I don't have. What?
D.I. Horton is...
I can never remember. I get it confused with all of the other tickers.
Is it DHI?
No, DHI. Thank you.
Is that what it is?
Look at Zunaid for the win! Hey, Zunaid.
Just to give you an example, DR Horton, obviously a home builder. We have a real estate agent as part of the happy hour group that's going to look over the report, listen to the call, and then give her opinion on what that call actually means and if there are any other trading opportunities around it, as well as what she thinks about DR Horton. That's just a small example of that. But anyway, it's great. It's a great community. It's people that want to do the same thing, that care about their personal finances and care about the market, and we discuss all those different things. So I appreciate the plug. However, we have our own pretty awesome thing going right here, to be quite honest with you, that does not require Pro, although Pro helps considerably. How about GNS yesterday? Now, I'll say this, Zunaid. I will say this. I got, as soon as I got off here, I started doing support work. I got tied up in multiple back-to-back phone calls, but by the time I was free, your interview was over. So I missed it. So first question here is, how did it go? Second question is going to be, is there a replay? And because I look at this chart here and I think to myself, boy, either some type of news was broke on that interview, or, like I said right before I signed off, for the second session in a row now, watch some of these stocks in the afternoon after they put in that morning pop, because you'll often get the big move in the afternoon after we're off air. Checks notes, looks at chart. Yes, we got the gigantic move yet again here on GNS after we signed off. So again, patience, spelled with a Y, P-A-Y, patience. If you have it, you're going to be able to trade some of these on their bigger move. We did get a tradable move. I think Crow hit one out of the park yesterday on GNS. Right in the morning here, we got a gigantic outsized move in the afternoon. So remember, this seems to be, we have two things that we've identified recently. Biotech therapeutic stocks seem to be the stock du jour, the ones that run like crazy every day. And two, sometimes those really, really big moves come in the afternoon after a little bit of a lull. So there's a little bit of fireworks early. You don't really get the huge move. And then those stocks really go crazy later on in the afternoon. So again, keep writing the stocks that are in play down and make a watch list, do something so that you can remember and then check on these later in the day. GNS gave us another huge move here. So Zunaid, I would like you to recap that if you don't mind, if that's possible. I'm going to quickly run through this list here. Let's actually start with SPY, since Mitch kind of teed that up here for me. One of the things that was really key here on the SPY is that we actually broke. So this trend, this shaded light blue area, is the downtrend that we've been in since the beginning of 2022. And yesterday, we actually had a close above that level, right? We had this candle take us above that level and then closed above that level. And this is significant because the only other time that we were above this level came in December 1st and December 13th. And both times we actually closed back below the trend line before trading lower. Well, we didn't get that here. So the question is this going to be different? Now, what I will say is some of the veterans that are in the happy hour, one of them is a former analyst who's been involved in world markets for 4+ decades. He often says that when you're talking about a trend change, a lot of the time you want to see some of these daily candles close 3 times in a row above or below the support level, whether it's a price level, just a horizontal level, or a moving average, or part of a trend drawing like this. So now we've got one. I want to see, do we get any more closes above this level? So far this morning, we're looking a little bit weak and kind of come back in, but not enough data yet, right? We could even bounce off of this trend line and then go higher. And I want to see what's going on there. So as far as levels go, the big one here for me today is going to be about 397, right? Can we break back into this channel? We're already below 400. So we already know that that's going to be resistance to the upside. Do we continue to come in here? And then where do we stop? Do we stop at the 50-day moving average? That's about 395.46. Do we stop at 392.82 is the 50-day moving average? Do we stop at the 200-day moving average, which is 395.46? A lot of questions. We'll see where we end up. For the upside here, I still think the upside area that we have identified with these purple lines here, the 403 to 408 area, is going to provide some significant resistance. So if we do, in fact, trade up here today, I would expect the SPY to find some resistance in this zone before it ends up breaking out. We'll see where we go. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Again, one of the other things that I'm going to be looking at, that I look at every day, is going to be the volume. It's not been great. And this last rally here has been on kind of low volume. I want to see what happens. And I also want to see some of the different earnings. Speaking of earnings, we had Verizon this morning. We had Johnson Johnson, GE, Lockheed, Raytheon, 3M this morning. 3M's trading down, by the way. But the big one today is going to be Microsoft after the bell. And I think that this could actually set the stage for the rest of the week in trading in some of these bigger tech names. So I'm really eager to hear what Zunaid has for us on some of these bigger tech names. We'll see how Microsoft trades today going in to that print. So that pretty much covers the SPY and some of the upcoming earnings here. I'm going to be referring to this chart several times this week because this is one of the first really big weeks here. I'm really interested in Tesla and IBM tomorrow, as well as Boeing in the morning, and maybe even Visa Thursday after hours. So we're going to be checking back on this graphic several times. Now let me go back to Pro here. Let's go over the movers list. We talked about GNS. Might as well keep this one on the back burner, right? We were as high as 628 yesterday. We've kind of pulled back here to the 440 level. The levels from yesterday still in play here. So if we hold 411, and we might have some curling action back towards the VWAP currently at 475-ish, right? So it's definitely a trade in there. We're going to monitor the volume. The volume is going to be our entry trigger, whether or not we should play that. Now let's look at some of the new issues here today. Actually, you know what? I misspoke there. We're going to look at INBS because this was also in play yesterday, and it looks like we might have a day two play here today. So INBS, the first move that we had was in the morning. This was not one of the stocks that ends up going bananas in the afternoon. It tried to move away from that VWAP, but really just regressed back to the mean, ended up trading below it here. Now, the interesting thing today is we did hold that one level, and we popped about as high as 174. We've retraced quite a bit of that move, about 2/3 of that move, and we're hanging out right under the VWAP here. I got VWAP at 136.5-ish, so perhaps a move back towards that VWAP and a breakout here will give us another opportunity to trade. I would say 160 and 174 are going to be the first two upside resistance spots on INBS. Remember, yesterday we saw this thing halt a bunch to the upside and then halt to the downside. So we want to keep that in mind for trading today. If it starts to get wild, you might be involved in some of those halts again. Now on to the new issues from today. First one here is going to be BXRX. And as you can see, this is already having quite a morning. We do actually have a catalyst that's driving the stocks. Bodax, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Bodax Bio shares are trading higher after the company announced the outcome of its first interim analysis in a phase 2 trial of BX1000 for neuromuscular blockade in patients undergoing elective surgery. Okay, so we've got a phase 2 trial here. Remember, phase 2 seem to be the good ones, especially if there's going to be a positive outlook for the phase 3 trial. And in this case here, the market really rewarding it. So as soon as this started to move up, as soon as the PR was released, really went as high as 452, kind of came off that level, dipped below 4, but not a whole lot, and then took the next leg up. So again, we went right back through 452, set a new high at 552, came back to the VWAP, and then ended up breaking this. So this pattern here, we want to see if this pattern continues into the regular session. And if so, we should be able to trade that. Now, the one thing that I've observed already here is that it seems to me that the actual break above this price level is starting to slow down. So when we first broke out of this high that we set at 450, we ran an entire dollar. Well, this next breakout above 550 didn't quite run that whole dollar. So it reasons to believe if we break this now, are we going to have that juice? We'll see, because when the market opens, we're going to have a lot more volume pouring into these stocks. We'll see where it ends up going. Just kind of keep that in mind. One of the things I do want to do here is mark this off at 601.6. The actual candle went slightly higher than that. So BXRX, we're definitely going to be watching this one. We want to wait for it to set up as always. Don't want to chase these necessarily right out of the gate. Now, here's another one, Grom. And what's interesting here is that the last time, first of all, Grom gave us a move in the afternoon, really kind of volume out of nowhere. If we take a look at the news here, looks like we really didn't have a whole lot, right? Not a whole lot in here going on recently. But anyway, nonetheless, volume really started to pour in, gave a trade here on Grom. We've actually seen this before on this very ticker, so we know that this stock can run. Now, we have these levels. I actually did these lines down here, the 214 through the 171 lines, these were added from the last time that we talked about Grom. I didn't even add them here today. What I did do is I added some of the lines that were made here today. So this 270, this was really a clean breakout. And you see, we're seeing kind of a similar pattern here, right? We break above these levels, we come back in. In this case, we actually retested that level to the downside, bounced, and then took out the next level, came back in a little bit, took out the next level. So we want to see if these patterns hold up. Now, it looks like this break above 379, we're kind of bleeding this back down here. So again, we want to exercise some patience here and make sure that we're not grabbing something too early here. We want to make sure that this is actually the stock that's going to be in play once the market opens. But we should know that within the first 15 or 20 minutes at least. Pay attention to your levels. If the stock looks like it's turning around, if the trade setup matches what you're trying to trade, then go ahead and take it. No sense in being a hero early and blowing stuff up. Next one here is going to be PYPD. And this had a huge pop up to 2 and retraced almost the entire move. So we came all the way back down to 118. This stock was a penny stock yesterday, flirting with that $1 level, hovering right around there. Great to see us stay above $1 here. We do have a catalyst here. Polypid, which is an interesting name. Polypid shares are trading higher after the company said following a recent Type D meeting communication with the FDA on the SHIELD 1 phase 3 data. It now has clarity regarding the regulatory pathway toward a potential NDA submission. Okay, so a lot of kind of ifs there, really. Not the greatest catalyst, in my opinion. They're saying there's pathways, they're not really sure, things of that nature. So kind of just keep that in mind. We've seen this move retrace quite a bit here. We're actually a little bit away from the VWAP. VWAP at 151, currently at 126. So let's see what the volume does. Let's see if we do end up pushing higher. Just kind of weight this a little bit differently. This is not the greatest catalyst out there. We already talked a little bit about IMBS, so we'll be ready for that. Bed Bath & Beyond, our favorite memer, or one of our favorite memers, back at it again today. I didn't even draw the levels here because the meme stocks seem to do their own thing. I guess we might as well while we're here. The big one here is going to be this 334, right? This seemed to be resistance before and now is acting as support. The question is, of course, does this hold up? What's going on here with Bed Bath & Beyond? We'll check this out throughout the course of the regular day, or the regular session, excuse me. Volume going to be really, really important on this name. Last one here, BIAF, right? This is Bioaffinity Technology. So again, this kind of fits into the theme that we've been seeing. This one is actually quite thin. This is a 6.5 million share float. This stock averages 65,000 shares traded a day. 65,000 shares of a $1 or a $2 stock. That's about $120,000 total worth of money trading on this. So not a whole lot. However, today we've already traded 1.4 million shares. So a considerable kick up. That would explain the outsized moves that we're having here. But look how volatile this is. As high as 240, right back to 166, right back to 240, right back to 191. So we really want to be certain here. I definitely think that if we're able to knock on the door of 240 and break that down, there might be a pop above, but breaking that wall down is obviously proven harder than harder than it looks, right? We've had 2 attempts here to do it. We've been unable to do it yet. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the market actually opens here. Last one here is going to be Hexo. And this we popped all the way up to about 194. We've kind of really come back in here. Same deal. As soon as the volume dried up, look at how weak this stock became. And I suspect it's going to be very similar like that when the market actually opens. So kind of keep this one on the back burner too. Now, Zunaid, that's all I got here for the movers list. Are you ready? What do you see here today?
Yeah, let's go ahead and check out Tesla for me. There it is. Bang. Tesla 139, or let's call it 140. 140 fail is going to be an area for me to go short. I've got my alert set on that. And then a pop above 145.43 is going to be an idea to go long. Call it 146 if you'd like. So I've already got my alert set there. That's the range that I've got on Tesla on the 5 minutes. If Tesla does go above 145, I do believe we can go ahead and see a 150 test, which is why I'm interested to go long. If we go ahead and break below 140, I do believe we can see about 136. So I do like the risk reward of at least 2 to 1. On spot, we got a chance to play this one from a $100 scalp to the upside. That worked out very beautifully. Now it's coming down to about the $99 area. We'll see which way this wants to go. Not really going to play with it as much, but definitely something that I've got my eye on. We talked about 400 yesterday. Unfortunately, as soon as it popped up, there was no retest on the 400 for me to go ahead and take a chance. So I went ahead and played this consolidation right here and had my stop loss set. Matter of fact, let me see if we can. There we go. You can see this is kind of where I went long here, and my stop loss was right below. Thank goodness we went ahead and broke, and I went ahead and sold there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the retest to go ahead and buy some more. So what's the game plan coming into today? Let's go ahead and do this, do that right there. Bang, bang. Going to keep an eye on this 397 level and see if we go ahead and hold that. If we do, great. If not, I'm probably just going to leave SPY alone today. There's not much that I personally like on SPY, except, of course, if it goes ahead and gets back over 400. So we'll go ahead and kind of set an alert there. Looking at the Qs, though, I've got the 390 level. So if the Qs can go above 390, I'd be interested in going long, especially if it bases above in the 5-minute candle on that one. I believe GNS, yesterday's interview, it was great. We got a lot of great insight. There were some things that were mentioned on the call. I made sure to ask, hey, will there be an offering? Roger went ahead and said no. So that went ahead and provided a little bit of oomph into the stock, if you will. And then I believe they had a roundtable afterwards with some other CEOs, which was interesting to see nonetheless. And you saw a pop. So what's the game plan coming into today? So today I can go ahead and trade it, and I will with you guys here. The game plan is to go ahead and buy some shares at around 403, with $4 being the hopium level of support. If that goes ahead and holds, great. If not, we break to 378. I'll go ahead and take my losses, but the stop for me, the stop is going to be 378. Take profit is going to be 448, right before the 450 level. And you can see right here, you had resistance, but you're in a beautiful uptrend. Finally broke, retest, held, base, continue to move to the upside. Resistance, popped up, came back, tested support, based, held, moved to the upside. So that's kind of similar to what I'd love to see on ticker GNS. We'll see how it works out. Risking 62, looking to make about $1.12 on this one. I know Crow went ahead and mentioned HOLO. Let's take a look at this one. I know he's really good with these type of stocks. For me, there's not necessarily as much volume as I would personally like. But maybe $15 can go ahead and hold with that whole number there. I'm not quite sure. Let me know what you're thinking there, Crow, in terms of ticker HOLO. Netflix has been the story since it ever popped above 344, especially after reported earnings. And now you can see it's got a little bit of trouble getting above, what is that, 361, I believe it is. So now the story ends up becoming Microsoft, but they haven't reported yet. So I would not be surprised if we just kind of hang out, chill out, don't really do anything, and just kind of consolidate. If we do get a run up, and if it is above this 45 level, I think it is, I just call it 245. If we get something above that, I'd be interested in going long. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of hang out and not get chopped up and screwed. Let's take a look. I think there was something else I want to take a look at. Oh, yeah, Google, $100. Beautiful level yesterday. Got a chance to go ahead and play this one short to the downside. Now we go ahead and see, hey, are we going to go ahead and even try to break above 100? If we do, and we pop above, we should have a beautiful move to the upside. Otherwise, you can see this one maybe slowly fading away or just consolidating, as it is going to be earnings season for ticker GOOGL. We've got about less than a minute left here.
Look at that knock against 100. I mean, how many can this is a 15-minute?
And this is a 15. So let's go to look at the 1 minute if we want to. Just could not.
Nice job.
Nice
job on that one, Zunaid.
Thank you. And another $100 level that we're keeping an eye on is on Amazon. We'll see if it ever gets there sometime in the near future, and we'll go ahead and set our alerts right there. We got less than 30 seconds left to go, so good luck to everybody. Main focus for me is going to be ticker GNS, just because that's the only trade I have on, but we're about 40 cents away from getting filled, and we'll see how that comes off into play. So good luck. Stay green. Stay calm. Here we go.
Have fun. Microsoft first move there is down. BXRX holding the 617 level, trying to go for a new high here. 626 is your day high. Okay, they yanked it. They brought in huge seller. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So real quick. So this is exactly why we wait some of these plays out. The first move here looked like it was going to try to take out that 626, but immediately got pulled down. As low as 577. Now we're currently around 6. This thing is absolutely wild right now. BXRX.
All right, let's see what we've got here.
New highs, BXRX. and a huge yank, 40-cent yank off that new high that it just set. Yeah, I might have to wait this one out. This one just a tad too volatile. Some of you gunslingers out there might have a lot of fun with this name here, but just knowing myself and how I trade, this is how I end up getting chopped up. Stock's moving. Stocks, we identified the right stock, but it is kind of all over the place. And generally speaking, someone with tight stops, this might end up taking you out here. So
Yeah,
just
especially with the spread
wild moves
itself.
here on this.
Especially if it gets spready on you.
All right, LAC popping out the gates, got up there as high as 2220. He's going to look to see if it can hold the pullbacks right now. Don't want to see 21s get cut on the downside. Let's see if LAC can continue going. This is a swing trade, of course. I'm just trying to keep working it. If it can get back up to the high there, it's not bad. We'll look for also ALB to get back up there. It did make a move towards 269, now pulled back. SPY overall down here out the gate still, even though we were leaking already. Thought we'd maybe get a little bounce. Still haven't gotten that bounce. We'll look to see if we get it. Did put a double bottom on the 1 minute, 398.35s. See that double bottom there on the SPY? I'll let my boys focus in, nail out some of those stocks. I'm looking at some of the bigger boys right now. Probably not going to take too much, but Apple really green out the gates. That's a good sign there for the bulls, at least for bigger stocks, right? Microsoft coming back to VWAP. We'll see what happens there. Of course, Microsoft reports tonight, right? We'll see what happens there. What do you guys think about that report tonight? Do you guys think we might get a scare from one of the big boys?
I think it's a big one. I do. I know that semis have been strong recently. So just some of the tech names we've kind of talked about. This is a big report tonight. I'm not playing it one way or another, but I suspect this is going to affect the trading the rest of the week.
All right. My main chart up here, so I can keep my eye here. Let's keep working, team.
So yeah, I realized there was a bunch of people that said that some of the stocks were halted. My halt tool says Verizon is halted right now.
Yeah, it could be. It very much could be. It could do a nice little push there.
Yeah, big time swing on Verizon. I mean, this is a low of 32.76 and a high of 44.73 in the same 1 minute candle.
Usually.
And then Triple M is halted too. So is AMC. Becky, you had mentioned AMC and PLTR. There are a number of stocks halted here.
Yeah, there's something going on because it's a little bit weird in the action too. In that Verizon, it's not even a 10% move.
Halted, right?
It's a 9.8% move.
Isn't it halted?
Normally, it
Okay,
takes
so I'm not
10%.
crazy is basically what you guys are saying. You're confirming some of this with me. Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely some
Yeah,
I mean,
it's halted. I'm not
unless
taking any time in sales on Snickers.
yeah, and then AMC also, just to kind of mention that pop, even from the bottom up there, is about 30 cents. That's
It's
not a
probably
10%.
Yeah, it's probably just an issue on the stock side of things.
Yeah,
On the
we're
exchange
having
side of things. Excuse me.
Yeah, that could be very much could be. What we can do actually is we can actually go to their website and they have things on their website.
Here's the thing,
this.
right? Welcome to. Sometimes you go ahead and see stocks halt, ladies and gentlemen. You've got a market halt.
Well,
Which
not
we've seen
everything
in
is
2020.
halted.
Well, not everything. I'm just
This
saying.
could
like, you got a
cause
solid
things
amount
to
of
come
stocks.
down, right?
Yeah,
Because investors get nervous. At least I would think so.
Especially if you're thinking like, hey, it's a hack, it's a this, it's a that.
I'm actually going to be looking to see some shorts right now. Stoxs is what I'm looking at right now for the long team. Going to take a little bit here near the VWAP. Trying to get in there.
Yeah, you've got Visa up there not moving. Nice. Nice. I don't see Roku moving. I don't see Zoom moving. Or
Come
Spy.
on.
AMC open.
Stoxs didn't give me that fill and it just jumped 20, 30 cents there. Oh, man. Come on, dude. That one's frustrating, team. I'm frustrated on that one. Look at that rip. I was trying to get in right here.
That was
Already.
a good call, Mitch. That was a good call. That was
It's a little frustrating, though. Here we're opening up on some of those stocks. AMC actually opened down there, so be careful there. AMC pulling back down there. Just to kind of mention that, I did see AMC opened up there. It looks like a 5-minute halt there. We'll see what happens on Verizon. Verizon still hasn't opened up. Success pulling back. I might get my entry fill on this pullback. I put the limit out there. I didn't get any fill on it. Looking to get some now on the pullback, but I wanted right where I had my entry, if not towards VWAP. There we go. I got a little bit of a pullback fill there on Success there at the 73. Now it's pulling back a little bit further. Might be able to add to this position a little bit. LAC still doing well for me, at least for right now. So I'm just leaving that one alone.
I'm in ticker GROM. Got filled at 302. Stop loss 277. Looking to take profit around 348.
This is wild. A lot of stuff going on at the exchange level.
Yep, sure is.
Wild.
So Crow was saying, I haven't found it yet. Zero Hedge just tweeted that NYSE is broken. Crow, I'm old enough to remember when you said I was involved in conspiracies because I follow Zero Hedge, but here we are.
Oh, what do we have? Do we have anything there yet? I don't know. This is interesting.
Well, we'll want to make sure things are.
Yeah, so here's the deal. So the tool here, the signals tool, is picking all of these up. That's when I first noticed it. But I don't know if there's news about this yet. Yeah, see, some people are suggesting hackers here. Some people are. I can't confirm that though. I can't. I don't want to say that because I can't confirm that. Definitely some strange prints.
Real quick, I'm gonna go over all three.
Selling some. Just took some profit. Go ahead. I got you up now.
All right, cool. Something just went ahead and happened on my end. What did I just end up happening? All right, looks like I ended up selling GNS, ticker GNS, went ahead and sold that one, looks like at a limit. So let me go ahead and go over that trade here, GNS. We talked about how we wanted it at 403, so 100 shares of mine were filled. Let me go ahead and put up the executions here. There you go. Had 100 shares filled at 409, sold at 447. So that $4 bounce ended up working for me. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the 250 shares that unfortunately I didn't go ahead and get. Cool. Now let's go ahead and go to Groom, ticker GROM. Got that one filled at 302, stop loss 277, bought 200 shares, could get stopped out here. 277, lose $50, or sell it up here at 347. So that's the second one. And let's see, we got one more position here on ticker BXRX, which we went ahead and got filled for an average price of $597, looking to sell at $666. So I didn't plan that way. It just worked out that way with risk reward. So that's the trades that I'm in. And is that one halted? Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yes, it is.
Hell yeah. So where the Lord decides to fill me, I don't know. We shall see. This will be fun. Let's see what happens with this one. But again, the levels are strictly based off of whole numbers. $6 on this one. GNS, $4. What's the other ticker that I'm about to lose money on? Groom, ticker GROM. I believe that was off of $3. Yes, it was $3. So
Verizon opening up lower.
Eli Lilly opening up. Wayfair, ChargePoint opening up.
Wayfair opening up higher. That's the interesting point. I was starting to notice that some were opening up lower. I did take profits on that Success first run there. I was able to fill on some pullbacks, took some profits into the 89. Not going to let this also break down. Got to be quick here in and out because I have a feeling this is going to bring some volatility. We'll see if we break through the low. Low is 2460s right now. It can wick there. And we're going to look to see if it recovers. If not, I'll just get out there for a small loss. Took more on the gain there. Average is 71. We took 89s. We'll look to see what happens here. SPY's going down, though. So that's why I'm wondering, are we just going to get another kind of hit? It's a little bit confusing markets here today, team. So for you guys that are not, let's say, experienced, understand that this is an unnormal type of market right now. So trying to describe that, you're seeing the Qs go up. SPY's coming down right now. So really confusing action going on in the markets.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like this before either. It's definitely strange. Kudos to you, Zunaid, for hitting BXRX, because as soon as all this madness started to happen, I kind of just went into information mode. But you stayed focused and you're able to hit something. Now you're in here into upside halt. Really good stuff there, Zunaid.
Thank you. We'll see. So I've got 150 shares. 100 of it is going to be sold at 666 if I can go ahead and get it. The remaining 50, I'm going to wait and see how much of an upside move I can go ahead and get. Because I definitely expect, the $7 resistance, this, that, the other. But I'd love for this one to somehow, some way hit maybe $8 or even $10. But for now, 666 is where I'm looking at selling. That's because you can see you've got a lot of long wicks as well. So you want to make sure you go ahead and grab some profit. This one just is 666 because it's risk reward, it just worked out for me. That's all it really is. And with this upside halt, I would not be surprised if this one moves to, like, let's say the 680s, and that's where I ended up getting filled. So we shall see how things play out. Let's see how long this has been halted for. Looks like it got halted around the 38-minute mark.
Added in success. Something's going on, team, but I'm taking my shots and trying to be really tight on my risk here. But I am taking my shot here. You see us a little bit more quiet right now because it's just really, the truth is nobody knows what's going on right now. I don't think anybody knows. The only people who might know a little bit more are the people actually on the floor right now. I pretty imagine their face right now, market makers and everything. They're probably eyes open right now. So
I'd say,
no, because of course, I mean,
they got dinner plate eyes, bro. What the hell happened?
They have duties that they got to fill, right? They got clients that matter there. There's the Q's taking off, so I might just get out of this stocks S trade right here. 60s will get me out. There'll be a small tight loss there, but it's something weird because even the actions, just SPY's starting to recover now. I'm getting out of the stocks S trade just for right now. I got out there even before the 60s just because I wasn't going to try to stay around right now. It's kind of one of these trades where I want to take some profit, take a shot, get out. If I can get back in, I'll get back in. And you see how it's even holding. It's still holding. It could just turn around and all of a sudden the Q's just hit to the downside hard. So what I'll do is I'll kind of wait right now to kind of get some of this momentum to balance out here.
84 stocks. 84 stocks on the Nice halted at the open.
Yeah, and the reason is, so you can see here on the 5-minute, right? Nothing crazy going on at Uber. Sure. Look at the 15. You've got a drawdown. And I'm seeing a similar story on Thinkorswim as well. So we may not see, depending on what minute chart you're seeing, the volatility happening, but it looks like some stocks it is.
So this is part of the problem on this, Zunaid, is that here, by the way, your BXRX opening higher here, 671 a high print.
Sold at 666. We got 50 shares.
679 high now.
I know I stepped out of that. LAC still working for me on the swing trade, so that at least looking good. We'll see if that can continue higher. Still looking at that. I actually set a stop there for LAC, so I didn't have to worry about it anymore. Q's now starting to go higher there.
The worst part about some of these halts on some of these bigger names is that it screws with the actual data and the technicals. Like if we take a look at MasterCard here, look at ticker MA here. I'll bring it up on screen for you.
What technicals right now?
Look at this candle. How the hell are you supposed to do technical analysis on this?
Exactly.
I mean, what's the range on this?
Well, I mean, think about the folks that if those are actual fills that folks have had.
So it's not.
Is wild.
So Zunaid, great point here. I was actually, as I'm watching Twitter here, I happened to come across a tweet from Dennis Dick, who's probably one of the faster traders that any of us know. Says the opening trades originally posted to Nice were incorrect. I had OPGs on some of the stocks and they did not execute.
That means there's server issues right out the halt, right out the gates. So, and then when there's server issues, sometimes they'll go into a halt. It probably halted, held all orders. This is why you got to be careful with leaving orders in, right? Because at some point those orders started actually flowing. And so I'm pretty sure like even Dennis was probably like 1 minute buy. All right, fuck this. I got to cancel because I don't want to get caught on these orders. I don't know where I'm going to get filled here. And so you got to be careful there. I'm sure we'll see what happens now. If we're going to get some balancing. SPY's still down right now for the Q's being up. It's a little interesting there. There's a little bit of a kind of arbitrage trade you can see there. We'll see what happens. SPY's trying to recover. And then now the Q's are starting to go down a little bit. This is just interesting. There's the SPY now recovering here to 399 team. We've seen the Q's push. So if you're looking at what's leading, right, the Q's are leading. So tech is still strong right now. We'll see if that turns around. If I look at technology, it's up for the day from the open. It's not up big, but it's still up. Financial services and consumer cyclical and also energy up from the open. What's in the red is communication services and consumer defensives. But of course, with the amount of change that you're seeing right now, a lot of stocks have been making moves.
On ticker BXRX, we went ahead and sold at 666 of 50 shares that we have remaining. We're going to looking to sell it at 696, but I believe that one's been halted at 605. Stop loss for me on that one. It's going to be 589. Looking at ticker GROM, the other stock that I went ahead and traded, 200 shares at 302. Looking to sell at 337, right below the VWAP if we can go ahead and get it. Otherwise, stop loss is going to be 277.
See, like stock test is still holding in there. That's a little bit interesting. It's just weird action right now, team. And then it's 9:45 also, so just kind of keep that in mind too. We'll see what happens here. This is one of those days where I don't think anybody has it perfectly right now. You just got to kind of move with the market. This is why you got to be flexible as a trader, right?
Biggest problem here that I see is the charts are all messed up. And
Yeah.
and by the way, did we get BXRX halt to the downside on that yank from 689 to 6? We did.
Starting to see a push in some of the tech names and bigger names. There's Tesla taking lead. Apple getting a nice little push. Microsoft looking like it's holding support there. Google taking a nice little push to the upside. Amazon as well. So we could see the SPY start getting above there. There you guys see it starting to push there. 399.50s. 399.60s. It looks good there. LAC starting to push there for me. I'm not going to worry about that. I'll actually look for some other lithium names to come back. ALB is one that I'm looking at right now. Of course, this one's a $200 name, so you got to be very careful with the sizing you come in on this. I'm actually maybe come in on this at literally 2 shares a piece, and there's a reason why. Is so that I can start averaging in, because you see the spread there too, 257.48 by 258. When you're playing high names like ALB, be careful, team. It's hard to get in there. You got to be able to know how to kind of ladder your order in there. That's what I'm going to be trying to do. We'll see what happens. See if that can start making a push. What are you looking at, Zunaid?
Going to be seeing Tesla's is going to have popped above 145. Going to wait for the 5-minute candle to close and have a retest of 145.43s and 145s itself before I go long.
All right. Did the SPY take out levels right there? It went right to 399.50s, and we've fought in here before, so I'm looking to see if we take it towards 400. So no position in that ALB. Just thinking about it right here, but it's not even above the VWAP yet, so I'm not trying to freak out. Stocks went lower, so that's good for the tech stocks.
Well, the good news, folks, is that it looks like Bed Bath & Beyond was unaffected by what happened this morning, as that is continuing to trade here and hold above its
different server, bro. Different bath.
Well, Bed Bath & Beyond is NASDAQ. And actually, yeah, so, I mean, looking at the NASDAQ stocks, they appear to be fine.
Success coming down fast there, team. That means those tech names probably looking good there. We'll see what happens.
You've got resistance at 142 on Apple. If it can get above that and hold, you'll see good movement to the upside. And you can look left and see you had resistance, breakout, hold a support, hold a support, hold a support, crack, retest, downside. So that 142 is definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's check back in on Tesla. About 36 seconds.
Is that my internet that's lagging, team, or was that?
I'm going to assume
is that
my
internet that's lagging?
No, it was.
All right. I'm just wondering because I was like, holy crap. I'm catching like 1 in 3 words from Zunaid right now.
No, Zunaid, it must have been your internet lagging. I heard Zunaid fine. He didn't break up at all.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm sorry about that, Zunaid. Sorry to interrupt. I was just more like.
You're good.
I
yeah,
can
matter of fact,
hear
your lips and your audio is off sync, actually.
All right,
here we
thanks.
go. 5-minute close coming in at 145.72-ish.
I'm going to come out and come back in, team, just to switch up the host. I'll be right back.
That's what she said.
That was exactly where I was going with that one. I was inspired on it. 25, and let's go with 50 shares if I can purchase them. Going to look to purchase 50 shares around 145.51s. Stop loss for me is going to be approximately
Boom.
144.70s.
Back like track.
Yeah, Rashad saying I couldn't sell my McDonald's short for the profit. Yeah, I don't think the stocks actually traded at those levels, right? I think it was a data issue. Dennis Dick had orders out too that just didn't execute. So I'm not sure that those stocks actually traded at those levels, which makes it even more confusing.
Imagine the chaos that would actually cause.
I mean, they'd probably break some of those trades, honestly.
It would all depend how big you are, probably.
Well, I will
And-
say I have had a trade that the broker went ahead and gave me credit for because they had messed up. So definitely is possible, and I'm nowhere near a big boy in terms
Hey,
of
there
the
you
money
go.
that I've got. Here we go. I'm taking a look at BXRX. Again, I'm in at 597. We went ahead and sold 100 shares at 666. Now we'll see if we can get 697. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and pretty much break even on the 50 shares that we have remaining at 589.
Q's fighting. They can't get through the 288.84. So I'm looking for that level to see if it's going to hold here. SPY trying to fight through the 399.50s right now. Went to 399.60s. Multiple tops around 399.70s. We'll look to see if we go towards the 400 mark, right? We get back up there, team. We'll see.
I'm going to go ahead and let me see what I want to do.
Yeah, so it looks like everything is normalized, at least so far. Really, the only thing that's going to be left over from this are the charts are going to look all funky from the candles, but I don't think trades were executed there. So BXRX open now.
Yep, stopped out there, so I'm good on that. Went ahead and made money on the trade. Let me go ahead and move these because they're freaking annoying on the charts. All right, Tesla. I did go ahead and get filled on Tesla here at 145.51. 50 shares. Stop loss 144.68. Let's go ahead and adjust this. 144.68. Looking to take some gains at 146.35. Why did I go ahead and take this trade? Whether it works out or not, here's why. You look left, and you've got a 145.43 rejection. Let's go to make it this chart a little bit cleaner. There we go. You've got a bit of a rejection right there. Couldn't get over in the post market, after hours. And then of course here you've got a nice little pop. You got the retest. Now I want us to go ahead and take this puppy to the upside. So matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get a little greedy with this one and see if we can take about, let's say 166. Let's see if we can get a 2-to-1 trade on this puppy here. SPY though needs to get over 400. So that's the only thing that would make me a little bit hesitant.
Thinking about this ALB, I want it, but it's just tough, team. It's tough to determine where the market's going. But it looks like we're right now starting to finally get through that high on the Qs. That's what's really leading right now, the Qs. And the Qs is a bunch of tech, right? So that tech name's still staying strong right now.
GNS, pretty big volume pop right here, going towards that 5 level on GNS.
All right, since we're going for the 400 run, we could look for the ALB now. We're right there to the 400. We went right to it on SPY. 399.99 again. Looks like there's a wall there again at 400. Looks to see if we get through that wall.
BXRX, by the way, coming back into its VWAP here. It needs about another 20 cents.
Oof, take a look at Meta. Nice little pop there. What's going on, Tesla? There is the... So we did go ahead and I think hit the 1-to-1 trade, but obviously we're looking for a 2-to-1. So we're just going to sit tight, see if we get it. If we do, dope. If not, it is what it is.
Tesla really
Tap it
strong here.
and come right back down. We tapped 400. We came right back down. 404. 400.04. See if we get through that again. Right now on it, 400. There's through it. Now can we hold there?
Looks like you've got possibly some news on Nevada governor will join Elon Musk. Let's see what this says. To announce plans to build a $3.5 billion facility for Tesla semis in Nevada is the alleged rumor. I haven't been able to confirm this, but go Tesla, go.
BXRX trying to bounce off of its VWAP here. GNS hit 5. I think we printed 5 there, but pulled off of it pretty quick. GNS back to 5 here. More prints at 5.
All right, taking a look at what sectors are moving up with it. Of course, technology, the consumer cyclical, the beta names, high beta names doing well. Gambling, department stores, leisure doing decent here today. We'll see if that turns around. You can see that in like an RCL. How the airlines doing today? Airlines are actually up here, so that's an interesting one. Definitely a nice trade that I like is the UAL because their guidance was that great. It's been holding the pullbacks there towards 48.95s. Maybe you're looking at it at 49 support. We'll look to see if they get moving again to the upside.
Looking at SOX S right here, kind of like it against yesterday's low a day, which is 23.73. You're currently at 24. So looking at about 30 cents worth of downside risk here. Would like this to trade back up to 25. That gives us a nice 3-to-1 on SOXS. Decent entry here.
Big rejection there on the 400 again from the market. We went to 415, couldn't close on a 5-minute basis. Back above, we're right back towards 399.50s. That's where it gets tough, right? When you're getting those kind of wicks up, like nice little breakout looking moves, and then we're not continuing.
One of the things I'd like to ask the group here, Jay, Voodoo, if you're out there, anyone that's been trading for a long time, first of all, have you seen anything like this before? Generally, when I see one-offs like this, I like to lean on the people that have more experience than myself. I've never really seen anything like this, but I'm not necessarily sure anything's broken going forward here. So if any of you have seen something like this in your career before, definitely share with the group here. Would love to hear that.
Just took profits in that LAC trade, not knowing exactly what's going on here. Don't want to get wiped out on a hard downside action here. The SPY just seems to keep coming down fast here. I took my profits in LAC. The big thing there is that I'm just going to take some profit, get myself recalculated. No positions in right now. I'm in the green for the day. Can just calm down. Just try to focus on what's in front of me versus on what I'm thinking about, what I saw. Right? There's so much going on.
Yep.
I'm going in more risk preservation mode and trying to recalculate, reset here.
SOXS, that's working here from our entry, up 40 cents now, just about 35 cents from the entry. VWAP here, another, 10 cents away or so. So we really want that to push above VWAP here on SOXS. So great little move here.
Right in the middle there for you.
Bottom. That 24 was the bottom.
Stop hit on Tesla. We had the 1-to-1. We got greedy and it's out.
That's the hard part, man. The SPY just freaking it said forget the 400. And the thing is are we seeing selling at that 400? At least I feel like we are. Like some of the big boys are selling there. ALB coming right back down. That LAC coming right back down.
Half
what
off. Sorry about that. Half off of XOSX here at 24.50. Need another 50 cents on the remaining half. Stop out at break even, so that trade will stay green.
Like it. Prior support becomes resistance now. 24.50s in that area. You see 52s on the 3-minute. We'll see if that starts acting as support when you get above it, right? Hit the VWAP. Look for that to start acting as support, the 50 area. We'll look to see if it takes the next step up there. An important level, definitely look at the Qs also coming back to VWAP. We'll see if that cracks 288. SPY also coming down fast. Now the 380s, 50s. This looks to me like I'm going to start coming after some of these stocks that have been strong. Microsoft looks like a nice little short also, but Apple's been strong right now.
So yeah, this working great for the SOXS trade. By the way, so a couple of things here. Jay, appreciate it. Been a while, Ryan, since I've seen this. Back then, they called them circuit breakers. We still have circuit breakers too. It's just 84 of them across the way. Wild. Trader Chris saying closest thing I've seen was a bad program that came into the market by night trading years ago. I remember that, Chris. I remember that. That's a good call here. That was similar to this. So just, yeah, interesting stuff out here. By the way, GNS did go to that 529. Still watching the SOXS trade, not in GNS here. Did go to that 529 and move through the VWAP here. Let's see if we can actually break and build above. I would say the 629 is not out of the question if we're actually able to do that. Not out of the question here. SOXS continuing here, 24.67. Remaining sell is going to be at 25 even if we get there. BXRX actually breaking beneath its VWAP now on BXRX.
SPY did a full 5-minute candle from the top to the bottom of the range. Wouldn't you know it? The SPY playing with you out there. Look at this candle. Literally top of the range to the bottom of the range in one 5-minute candle. And it took 3 5-minute candles to get up there. Look at SQQQ. I was thinking about jumping in this, but my man Ryan's going to make the cash for me there. 24.73 doesn't look too bad. Success continuing.
Success, baby. Mitch, the first thing that put that on my radar was when you said you were going to start looking to get short with all of this stuff. Success came in there. We were what, 20 cents, 25 cents away from its intraday low yesterday. That'll be a tradable spot for me there. Giddy up.
Yeah.
Just need 20 more cents here. 20 more cents here, and we're out. The rest of it.
I'm looking for a 141.50 on short on Apple. If I can get some little bounce back here, we'll look to see if we can get short on some Apple.
Great tweet here from Open Outcrier. Citadel probably made a quick Billy on that open. That's Billy with a B. Thought that was funny. Oh, good stuff here today. Good stuff here today.
There's the SPY bounce.
Okay, so with a SPY bounce, going to move the stop up here in SOXS to 24.50. It was where the first sell was. That will guarantee and lock this profit in. I'd really like to see this go to 25, but we'll lock the profit in there just to make sure we don't give it back. Yeah, Urban Farm saying too crazy price action for me. I don't like this. I'm with you on that, Urban. When it's not predictable, when there's added things that take you out of your comfort zone, never good. You know, I'm the same way here. What I would say in that case is, you know, trade your plan, and if your plan doesn't fit the volatile market that you're seeing, it's okay.
It's okay. And it's also okay to just be like, well, this market is a little bit too volatile for me today. I'm taking a pass. That's okay too. Realize it's more about risk. Like if you don't think you're in the zone, that's when I think a lot of the times we need to be careful. That's what I'll just say. It doesn't necessarily mean right now. Maybe ask yourself, am I in the zone right now? Do I feel like I'm like really seeing things? That's why we're reading Trading in the Zone for the book club. Are you in the zone?
Way to tie that back to the book club. That's amazing.
No, and that's what the zone is really all about, right? Knowing that you're in the point where you're focusing on process versus you're focusing on emotions. I want to add to Apple here, but I want to see the SPY just put a takeout candle through 398.
Sam asking me, Ryan, can you take a look at Rally, please? Sam, these are stocks that I don't trade. These are penny stocks that I don't trade. I'm not sure why you want my opinion. I'm happy to give it to you. This looks like a bottomed out chart that looks like death. Really, this is not a good looking chart here at all. What does this company do? Holding company with diversified interests in the insurance market. Yeah, sorry, don't have an angle on this one. I wouldn't even be interested in this based on the chart. I'm sorry, my man.
Add there in Apple. What is going on, team? This is one of those days where you're just feeling it. Both sides, the Bulls, the Bears, everyone's feeling it.
Yeah, waiting for, if you're trying to go short, you may want to wait for a crack of about 398 to the downside.
Yeah, that would be the big move, right? Zunaid, you see it too? If it does
well,
it's just
a market low, right? And then of course for me after that is a 397, which was the pre-market high yesterday.
All right, let's see what happens now. Do we start getting that flush? I'm going to look for it on this next kind of like 3-minute candle on the SPY. Kind of got the indecision candle on the 5-minute there. Last 5-minute candle, a high of 398.74. That would be kind of the reversal area I would see where we get back into kind of the chop action. Success. You're looking for the breakthrough 2490s. Here's SPY to 398. It went right to it, holding right there. We'll look to see if it really gets a takedown. Apple looking great for me here, team. On this first takedown, I'm going to look to take a little bit of profit here as we start cutting through. I'm going to take about like 40% of the position off here. If we could break through the 141.25s here. There's the break. Just took some off there.
Approaching
SOXS.
exit zone. Sorry, I don't have it up here. I was still
Here, I
looking
got
at
you. I
the
got you right here. The middle.
Come on, just give me a 25 print. We get a 25 print, we out.
It's looking good at least.
Yep,
there.
sure is.
Maybe take profits there. I like it for a continuation. What I like to do sometimes is take size out, right? Like you guys saw me size out on that first little cut down on Apple there. As soon as that next candle opened up, I went and I hit it. So that gives me at least the feeling that I can at least look to work. One of my things that's hard for me, and I've seen it in my own personality, is that if I don't take first profits, I get too emotional. And so I love taking first profits quick into the first move and then looking to hold, usually break even on the rest. Break even now is 141.55. So I'm still up here, right? We'll see if we get back there. But now we're looking for the continuation on the SPY takedown, right? There's the 398s right here. We cut through it. We went to 397.64. Let's see if it starts holding 398 as resistance. How could you see that also? Go to the tighter time frame. 398 is right here. I'll put a little line on it so that at least you guys can see it really visually there. Boom. That's the line. I'll look to see if we cross back above that and close above it. We could get back into the chop zone, right? That's how this market is a lot of the times. We'll see. You just went to it and rejected it. SOXS pulling back fast there. 24.77s.
Remember though, at this point, Mitch, as you like to say, this is a plan, right? The feed up trade, the plan. Yeah. The entry was 24.05, 24.06. We
been a kid trade already.
Stop at 24.50. We're waiting for the 25 print. Stop at 24.50 on the rest. So really, there's no more stress in this one. Once you have some of it booked, there's no more stress.
Yeah, it's at that point, what you are more long in is letting the trade work for you. Probability has been set. That's what this trading book is all about in our book club right now. The psychological outlook when you're in trades is that at this point, you can't lose, essentially. Regardless of what happens to Brian.
Well, hang on, Mitch. Now that you've said that, we'll probably get some crazy market. Everything will get halted and flushed out, and we'll find a way.
All right.
Now that you've gone ahead and said that, of course.
Apple coming back here, just got to be careful here, right? Not going to fight it too much. It's coming right back towards my entry. 60s right here. If it wicks through, got to start getting out. Not going to let it come right back in because this market is that type of market where maybe you got to take right there. Got out there. Boom. Not going to let myself get into the red there. Stayed into the green on Apple. Just took the money and ran.
Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator of the Patriots now.
I don't think that makes him better. I think that makes him better. No.
He worked with Mac Jones in Alabama, so I think that's probably your connection.
Gotcha.
That's it. That's exactly the connection. I don't think that makes him better, though. Patriots are struggling, man. And they got to deal with like some good teams in the division. And if the Jets get a good quarterback, then, oh, man.
Derek Carr, maybe?
I don't think they get Carr. I think they're actually going to go for something a little better.
And yeah, Palantir, that's a wide candle on that first print there.
Turn around there on Apple, but we got above the 398s on the SPY. And you guys, I'm not trying to play the chop. The chop is just too much here. And my biggest thing is to try to keep playing the momentum today. I'm still in the green on the day. Got to keep working it, though. Got to be smart. In and outs, in and outs. Look to see if we get the takedown now. Your VWAP held on SOXS, so that's looking good. We'll look to see if it takes it out to the upside. Rodgers. Yeah, I could see the Jets actually getting Rodgers. That would be insane.
He'd be following in the footsteps of Brett Favre again. All right, SOXS pushed to those mid-80s.
What a day, team. I'll tell you one thing.
What a day, what a day.
Fast. fast on the execution is how you got to be today. That reversal from that you got on Sox S, that was a quick one. In like a minute or two, you were up 30, 40 cents.
Yep. Makes it easy when it goes in your direction right at the beginning. It makes the trade a lot easier.
Happy I got out of that apple. You see how it's starting to come back there? It just gets me chop zone. Now we're chopping right back up there. So it's just difficult right now. Look at the SPY on the 5 minute. Look how you get to those lows. Then you put it, a huge wick down there to 397.64. Huge wicks. Microsoft high a day, that's a reversal action there. That's an important one to catch. I think that shows us that we might come back to the upside here all the way to the top of the range by seeing Microsoft reverse up here. Just to kind of point that one out. That one had really nice bottoming action around 241.50s, starting to go to the upside. Good catch, Jay.
That makes me think about manually taking the rest of the SOXS off here.
I can't blame you. You think that mentality. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's okay to run to profit.
You know what? No, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Okay. So not bad.
Yeah.
Didn't get the full dollar. Didn't get the full dollar, but you know what? It was actually good trading and good discipline on that move. Decent entry too. So.
Yeah. Another thing that you guys can always think about, sometimes some people like trailing stops, right? I don't necessarily use them. I haven't used them in the past, but it's up to you guys to look into that. That could be ways that you guys can get to a point where you're like, all right, I like it from this point on, but I want it to trail the action now. And definitely, well done, my friend Ryan. Well done.
Yeah, we can. Sometimes we do well. I'll say at this point, it's given what we saw here at the Open. I'm really happy with how this has played out.
We could go reversal, Ryan. We should have gone reversal. Sock selling it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel confident enough there, but that's clever.
I might jump on that action here. We'll see. We'll see. The big thing for me is the Qs are fighting here, the 288 levels. It doesn't really want to hold the VWAP. SPY also doesn't want to hold the VWAP. So we'll see what happens here, team. Still some chop out there.
Getting a couple of requests here for Bed Bath and Beyond. Bed Bath and Beyond. We talked about this one. Really kind of ran up to that resistance. So one of the things that one of the things that I've noticed here is that we popped above this pre-market high of 365, but we didn't go anywhere. We went 5 cents as high as 370. It's really been unable to even get back there. Now we lost the VWAP. Now it looks like we're not even able to reclaim this VWAP. So I want to see if this curls back towards the VWAP. Maybe that's the start. But as you can see on this curl here, we didn't even get over there. I'd like to see this curl back towards the VWAP and then use the cross as a potential entry towards the high. We'll see if we end up getting it. BBBY, not my favorite thing to trade in anyway.
A lot of action.
Anyone in the chat, this might be a little bit out of our, I'm not going to say it, but has anyone gotten their cataracts removed from their eyes? Very off-topic question.
I mean,
what is Zunaid thinking about right now?
My dad had cataract surgery in his late 60s.
Okay. Well, yeah, because my mom called me. She's like, hey, your dad needs to get cataracts testing. And I'm like, I have no idea what that even means.
No idea.
So I'm just like Googling it now.
Yeah.
I like the song Cataracts by the Tokyo Gang. That was a nice one.
I don't know if there's any relation. I don't know how you're talking about. But
yeah.
Zunaid, what I will say here is I think that this is a fairly common thing. And I think that your dad will be okay.
Yeah.
Regardless, right? I'm not sure that there's anything to worry about.
Yeah,
Haley here in the chat is saying my mom had it one eye at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fogging in the okay. Yeah. So I guess you have to go get tested to see how it is and then do surgery.
Yeah, I think they test it and then they do the surgery. I'll be honest, eye surgery stuff really kind of gives me the willies.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like I could never do that LASIK stuff. Hell no.
So I thought that's what. So my mom told me that that's what they were thinking about. I thought that's what she called me for, and apparently that's not it. I was like, okay.
That is fascinating. That LASIK
taking off.
Fascinating. They basically use a laser to cut the top of the eye, and then it falls naturally and then heals in the correct position. I know, Mitch. I know. I'm sorry.
Triple top, no, 400. Triple top 400. I'm more
Okay,
just paying attention to the market.
I thought the description of the eye surgery was giving you the willies. By the way, look at SLX
already.
now. So didn't quite. I'm glad we took this right. This is also why we have stops. Didn't quite get to the target that I wanted, but still ended up being a green trade.
Yeah, Apple push there, went through that high there. So just to kind of point to that, I'm looking at if we can actually ramp through 400. I think we can. I'm looking even for pullbacks on SOXL right now. We'll see what happens. I mean, that 400 is just acting like someone either has a crap ton of position and they just can't get out there, or something's happening there, because it's been too much, this 400 hold. And I don't see dark pool actions. I don't have access to that, but there's something up there.
Lot of support here for the cataract surgery in the chat. Absolutely. This community is the best. It doesn't matter. Football, eye surgery, stocks. You bring the subject, the chat will discuss it. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Y'all are great. Yeah, I'm going to look it up and see what's what.
We obviously have the best chat around.
What's the hardware again? I need to know the hardware. I always forget.
Go XLR.
Go XLR.
There's another one that I could kind of show you that you can use, but
yeah, let me know.
There's some cheaper ones too, some now alternatives. But the Go XLR, the big part about it is that you have so much access to like just your hands.
Yeah,
some will be more
just me, or is this $500?
It's 4.
Okay.
Yeah. The big thing is that you don't need to be an audio expert. That, to me, like the intuition of the device itself is the big selling point. I don't need to study audio engineering and routing in order to be effective with it. That's cool.
Good. That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this 5-minute right back down. And this is where it gets a little bit tough. Look at the SPY. This is chop, chop, chop. And the problem with this is that a lot of traders trade more for continuation, right? This is why, like you saw Ryan run to profit, I ran to profit. I think in this market, this is that take your money and run type of market, at least for day trading. When you get the nice move, it might be better to take the first cut, right? If I would have took the first cut all off Apple right there, I probably would have been perfect for the end of the day. But look at this 5-minute candle now, right back down. These 5-minute candles are wicked on the SPY today.
BXRX might be curling here off of this 5 level, came all the way back down to 5. We'll see if it can curl here. Sorry, I had it on a different screen. Let me pull it up here. We got this. We got this. So we talked about this before. We want to see it curl, maybe move towards the VWAP. We actually have our VWAP lining up fairly well with the 551 level that we identified. Question is really going to be, does this curl continue? We really tried to take out the top of these 2 candles and we're rejected. So we'll keep watching BXRX here. Then GNS is bouncing off the VWAP.
This was a tough one, team. Like I'm thinking SOXL to the upside here, but I don't even know, man. It's hard. I mean, NVIDIA is like kind of the similar play, right? Like when I look at SOXL, a lot of times I look at NVIDIA and it's very similar. Like we could play maybe VWAP bounce from 191, but then the SPY comes right back down through 400. Are we going to get through that 400? That's so important because we ain't going to get that continuation on NVIDIA through 195. We ain't going to get through that 400 today. So that's the way I'm thinking right now. It's just tough. And then Apple putting in these huge moves to the upside, back to the downside. Let's see what Microsoft did. Started pushing up, now coming right back down. So it's tough, team. It's a tough day today. I definitely would say so.
This is interesting. Theoretically, we're on the cusp of understanding how to live forever. Granted, you don't get mangled physically. Yeah, that's the biggest part, right? Like at some point, in my opinion about my body, my life, my this, that, the other, it just isn't worth it.
I don't know if I want to live forever.
Point. Yeah.
Controversial opinion. I don't want to live forever.
Yeah.
Unless I find the fountain of youth.
Yeah, like if I'm like, if my bones aren't crazy, if my skin isn't looking like
I don't want to look 236 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys, that reminds me of a great quote from Ovid in one of his landmark treatises, really the Metamorphosis, said, I grabbed a pile of dust and holding it up, foolishly wished for as many birthdays as the grains of dust. I forgot to ask that they be years of youth.
Be careful what you wish for.
Living forever is one thing, but living forever and having youth and vigor, that's quite a different. By the way, here's potential trade here on Lululemon. We've talked about Lululemon before. We actually did pretty nicely here on this gap fill, right? So when this sold off down to this trend, let me back out here. Here was the trend line that I had drawn. We actually gapped off that. Then we tried to fill this gap. Actually went all the way back up to 326. Decent trade there. Now it looks like we're actually using this trend line, the blue one on top, as the triangle. So we're kind of compressing into this zone. What's going to happen here, eventually this is going to break. Now, the closer we get into this compression area, maybe we'll take a look at this for a potential swing long or short, but it's not going to stay in here. It's going to break. The question is going to be, do we go upside or downside? I don't know yet. We will keep watching Lululemon.
All right, guys, I'm taking a little bit of a shot here. I think I'm definitely early to the action, but taking the earlier move here, I'm long on the SQQQs. So I just took their 42.28s. Going to look to see if the SPY can start coming back down. Qs crack back down. SOX S crack back down. SOX S get a nice little lift. SOX L would be cracking down. We'll look for that 25 that Ryan was looking for, also for the takeout to the upside. We'll see what happens here. And I'll hold towards 42.10, holding it really tight at first. That's because we still haven't gotten out of the range in the SPY. It's chop land. I'm just trying to bet right now, and I'm betting to the downside. We'll see what happens.
Buddy wants to say hi to the group. Hey, buddy. Hey,
buddy.
He's having a good day. Look at this sweet boy. Okay, he's done with that. He's done saying hi now.
He saw when I put this camera on the screen. That's what happened.
He got camera shy.
They get camera shy all the time, Ryan. They know. They know. They're like, I was all doing the show until you put me full screen. I know one like that too.
Me. Always me.
I know how it is, my friend. But I did catch you the other day, man, with that winning call on esports. My boy.
Oh. That was a fun event.
That was a good ender.
Wait, what happened?
There was a buzzer breaker, man. My boy was calling it. My boy was jumping. He was going off.
Link us up, Zunaid. What the F?
The only thing that I would say, and I actually even messaged this to myself, and this is how much, I love my boy. Got to have my boy ready to go here. I'll get you guys going here right now. Let me actually pull up my Slack here. I don't care. You guys can see it. This is what we do here on Benzinga.
Oh.
Look at my boy. All right, hold on. I got to share with sound so you guys can see it.
I was going to say, did we get the sound or what?
Yeah. I got you. You guys deserve the sound, right? Let's get there, man.
No, are you kind of blushing? I've started to sweat. I do this
all right,
for a
system
living.
sound. Let's make this whole screen there. All right, let's hear my boy here. Come on, why isn't it working?
We broke it. The buzzer beater broke it.
Oh, I'll just go to the actual Twitter. That's what happens.
I couldn't load the tweet.
Well, hopefully I didn't delete it by accident.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man.
Can you imagine? It's the most engagement I've gotten all year long.
Looking to get a bucket for the win, and he wants to make sure he's the last one to take that shot. Walks it back, has it two for the crowd. Not going to get it. Dime's looking to find him some space inside.
It's intense, man. It's crazy. That was.
Zunaid.
What's
9.
All I gotta say is this. You know what I gotta say, Ryan? Why does he wear a suit to esports, but doesn't
I
wear
wear like a
suit
normal t-shirt?
here,
You should have let
man?
me go first. You should have let me go first. Zunaid,
What you got?
The vest and the shirt and tie combo, sharp, bro. Look how sharp you look compared to your coworker there. I mean, that's Indian Prince if I've ever seen it. That is a sharp dressed
Made
man right
in
there.
India,
Zunaid. Good
my
stuff.
boy. My boy.
Appreciate the love. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I was out in Dallas, which is why I wasn't on the show. I was traveling there.
Check him out. Check him out, team. Check him out.
My man calling a game. Buzzer beater, has the tie all the way up, looking crisp and sharp. Zunaid, that's a lesson. That's how it's done, buddy. Let's go,
it, man. Thank you, guys. That was too kind. Too kind.
Let's go.
Love it. Love it. We'll see what happens there. Hey, you guys see, we have some fun. Gotta live it up with my boy. Let's get back to the trading action. Let me mute my screen here.
It's such a and I appreciate that. Let me make sure we get right back to it. The SPY has just been in a choppy range, right? Especially with the big moves that we've had. I mean, if I'll go ahead and share my screen here, it's just been in this range. And we talked about the breakdown of 398, and if it goes ahead and breaks on that, it could be dangerous. But it never closed. You saw buyers step right back up and bring us right back within the range. If you go ahead and look at Tesla, broke up, but I went ahead and got stopped out here again, just within that range that we've talked about and trying to go short and long. Nvidia tried to make a massive move. It did, but then again, right back to it. Now it's looking to make a little bit of a push. So we'll see how it works out. I've got this cute little red drawing here, or excuse me, green drawing here. We'll see if it breaks above. If it does close this 5-minute candle above, I would say I'm interested in going long. But of course, you got to break 400 on SPY. Then you got to go ahead and break the previous close, which is 463. And then you can go ahead and get your move to the upside to 402s and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on is NVIDIA. If we go ahead and close this 5-minute candle above and we go red to green once again, I'd be interested in going long with a stop loss above 190.78 or so.
All right, let's see what happens, man. Because it's definitely a chop land right now. And then it just hit the pause button. I don't know who hit the pause button, but we'll see what happens there. If we can get that little move. All right. Come on. Somewhere move, right?
My scanner dried up too.
Yeah, it just got just dried up. Like, who went to lunch?
Early,
didn't tell us.
10:30 in the morning.
Who knows, man? It might have been a good morning. That's the fun part about being a trader, right? Full-time. If you're a full-time trader and you're able to nail a morning trade. I don't know about you guys, but if I was a full-time trader and I nailed a big one in the morning, I'm going to the beach.
Well, one of the things about trading is sometimes you never know when you're still in a position. I didn't know I was in a position. Apparently I was. GNS, I have 200 shares at 504. Thankful. And, let this be an important lesson as to, I genuinely had no idea. I was, I usually leave the show around 10:30. I was looking to see if there's anything I wanted to recap. And I went ahead and saw, oh yeah, you're up $40 on this trade. So lesson being, if you're going to put on a trade, make sure you have your stop losses and your take profits just in case you forget that you have a trade. So anyway, GNS 504, we're in with 200 shares. I'm going to take profits around 534. Stop loss. It's a 2-to-1 trade. As you can see, stop loss for me is 489. Let's see if that 2-to-1 comes through for us or not. And the reason I have 336 is not just because it's a 3-to-1 trade, but also because you can see that you have a topping area around this 540 area. So I don't want to try to close above that or try to take profit above that because it may never get there. Matter of fact, I might just be closing this trade right here. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Take the easy $50. I'm out at, looks like 530 is where I'm going to go ahead and take my profits on ticker GNS.
Shannon out here. Shannon knows how it's done. Second breakfast, right? Borrowing an old Hobbit tradition. After crushing a huge trade, you go out for second breakfast, maybe get some pancakes, maybe a mimosa.
Enjoy the day.
Pinkies up, pinkies up.
I wonder what Aaron would say if I told him I wanted that mixer. He'd probably tell me to off. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean,
be like, hey, bro, I'll do a show for you if you go ahead and get that. Be like, who wants to talk to Nick about that permission? But it's interesting you mentioned that, Ryan. There's a trader that I'm trying to reach out to and maybe get him on the show with us some days. His name is, I don't know what his name is, but his YouTube is Trader Next Door or Day Trader Next Door, something like that. Trades futures. And he has a rule, which I thought was fascinating, that he goes ahead and takes a 5-minute break after a winning or losing trade. So it doesn't matter if you make money or not. By the way, GNS, high day. Nice little pop there to 550s. Let's see how it behaves. I'm going to put it on our
DXRX
screen.
curling as well.
Here, let me put up both of them. Ooh, look at that smackdown. As soon as it went to 550s, boop, right back down.
I like that, Zunaid. Maybe there's
the
more
5-minute rule.
Yeah, because I think that resets like all of like
Yep.
your mental energy, right? You were just in this trade, it finished executing, good or bad, you're kind of resetting it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Might be something I'd like to implement. But nonetheless, you've got BXRX to your left, GNS to your right. Let's see how this plays out.
Microsoft setting up. It looks like it's trying to go for that next move. So if you guys are looking for the tech stocks next move, it looks like it's trying to set up there. NVIDIA is still on the VWAP. So if you guys want to take a look at that one, 191 was the area that we talked about there. SOXL was right off the VWAP also. Maybe AMD on VWAP. Yeah, it's actually AMD is actually below VWAP there. Qs just keep chopping around here. SPY's tried to go back above 399.40s multiple times, couldn't do it. We'll see what happens here, team.
So on the NVIDIA, the 190 is holding. So if you wanted to go long, unfortunately, you'll be risking about $1.50. I think it's better to wait for this punch up above 192. Now, what might suck is that it might just punch way above, like you saw in this candle here at the 950 mark. So something to keep in mind. But I do like NVIDIA. It's not the strongest stock in the market. I think something else you could take a look at is Apple. Matter of fact, I'm glad I clicked on it. If Apple can close above this 142 area, I'd be interested in going long. Because if we look here, you had rejection, breakout, test support, hold, and obviously moved up. Test support, hold, test support, held, cracked, retest, downside. So now, same situation. Now we're looking to kind of close this 5-minute candle above. Would be interested in going long, maybe on the retest as well. But I want to personally go ahead and see a close above 142.01.
Out SQQQs there on that pullback there. It just went right to 42.10, stopped me out there. So pretty much break even now on that trade. Give myself the cushion there to go for the swing. Not much now going on. And I feel like we're just going to have to either break through 400 or break down all the way down to like 397.50s. And so we'll see what happens today, if you get that upside action or not. But spin the chop. The chop continues.
GNS looking like that might try to break and go for a new high of day. Remember, yesterday's intraday high, 628. So we'll see if we end up getting there. GNS here moving towards the high. So Mitch, I have charts open on several different
You're
screens.
good. You're good. I try to jump on the charts too. Like when
I look at them and start saying my thoughts and then don't switch the correct chart. And I always look a little late
Not
there.
worry. It just happens. It happens.
Yeah.
There's that GNS. We'll look to see if it continues going. And right, let's go to the hourly chart. Does it work again? Oh, look. Yesterday we talked about the $3 level.
No.
It was resistance yesterday that was around $4. What happens today? Pull back to 404. What I like about that is that let's just be honest. Zunaid, even if you make like, let's say, 100 share position there and you're risking about 20 cents, what are you risking really? $20, right?
$20, yeah.
Yeah. But if the stock takes off, gets back here towards 628, that's a hell of a reward, right? For risking $20, 128, $130.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong there.
And you know, obviously, if you want to flip it back to my screen here,
Yeah, I got you.
You can see that that's what I did, right? So at 409, I went ahead and purchased 100 shares, sold them at 447. Purchased 200 shares at 503, 506, sold them at 530. So it's nothing crazy, nothing outrageous size whatsoever. Mainly because, you know, and I know I haven't tweeted jack shit with my Twitter stuff. I've just, you know, been anxious, nervous, and also busy with esports stuff. But I was making great money in the first quarter of the year, but then I just went on a huge slump for 6 months, 9 months or so. So it's like now I've got like this anxiety of like, shoot, I can't take bigger size, this, that, the other. So I'm like working my way back up. And, you know, at this point, it's live to fight another day with your capital. You don't need to make thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars every single day. Exactly. It's just about getting the same exact proper process, because whether you're trading 1,000 shares, 100 shares, or 1,000,000 shares, the risk reward, your thought process, everything should be the same. So yeah, no shame in that whatsoever. And which is why, you know, we like to give you as much insight as much as possible here.
Yeah. And then finding different ways of risk and return. What works best for you? Find what works best there.
You
What's
can
up,
see
Ryan?
Apple didn't close. What's up?
I was going to say the one thing that I would be looking at here on GNS, we're really holding up towards like these highs here.
Mhm.
If there was, considering the move yesterday, I noticed, I don't know about you folks, but I noticed there were a bunch of people in here mega negative about this stock yesterday before that interview. Makes me wonder if there are some people caught on the short side of this. Right? Because
well,
we
that was the
started,
whole
Well,
story,
look at the squeeze
right?
you had to 6. Yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. And now we kind of came down and we don't really appear all that weak here today. We're actually trying to set new highs here. I would imagine if this, this update here is not since the 12th. So there's been 12 days since the short interest has updated. We're actually due for one here pretty soon. But to me, if there are people trapped in this thing could easily go above 629 if there's a rush to cover here. And I would imagine that if we do push above that 629 and there are people that are short here and they feel trapped, this could go even higher.
A break above 5. A hold above 5 as it is currently doing would be very key. Just can't get over 550 at the moment. But 142 rejected on Apple.
Yeah, Jay, you've seen stuff like that before, haven't you? And I would imagine, I'm not saying I'm not placing a bet either. I'm not trading it, so I'm not putting my money where my mouth is. Full disclosure here. I'm just saying that this thing, you get enough people trapped on one side here, this thing can go ballistic.
So how do you maybe follow along this stock, like while you're watching it in pre-market to determine when you want to be getting in, right? A lot of the times what I'd be looking for is the rule of 3, team. The rule of 3, it shows up so much, right? What you're looking for, downside action, pullback, right? Upside action, start creating some resistance. Downside action. Now you're starting to create that second. Now you look for that second resistance. Now you're really starting to come back down. Then you want to create that third bottoming. Once you get that third bottoming, which really happened here, you really don't want to see candles closing below that. On that action there, right through the open, we do that wick through. It's kind of a trick right there. And then it recovers. But look where the candle closes on like the 15. You can see that how you close way above that. You close all the way back here towards 440. And so you got to be careful with wicks. A lot of times wicks stops out traders with the best trade. I've seen it happen plenty of times, right? And on the 1 minute, you can get scared out very easily on those downside action moves because look how it went to down, 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 and then really quick bars up, almost elevator moves up, stair step down. This happens often with these cheaper names.
Do we ever discuss crypto day trading? So
Good question.
not necessarily any specific coins or anything like that. Wow, GNS smack dab right back to 5. Excuse me 1 second. Let me see if I want to put a trade on here. I'm going to go ahead and take just a couple of 100 shares. Don't leave me yet. Hang on. Stop loss for me is going to be approximately 489. So we'll see if the $5 holds. That's literally what we had just talked about. And we'll see if we can just get a quick $26 line. Matter of fact, let me move this right back up to see if we can get a 2-to-1 trade. So yeah, you can see 503, 200 shares, stop loss 489, looking to take profits at 530. So when it comes to crypto, we won't trade specific coins or talk about coins. However, we will look at the crypto market and therefore look at stocks within the crypto space, such as your Coinbases, your Mara, your Riot, whatever else the case may be, that'll have a bit of movement. What you seeing, pal?
Yeah.
And SPY did a little fake down to the downside, now coming trying to recover. We'll see what happens.
Still in that range, though. What's up, Ryan?
Still in it.
What I was going to say about the crypto day trading here is no, just straight up. I don't. I've made a choice with crypto to not day trade it. Yes, the moves are wild. Yes, the things are crazy. For me, it's been a very, very small percentage of my investment funds, and it's been a buy and hold for the long term. So no, I don't day trade them. But like Zunaid said, I will often check in on how some of the coins are trading, more specifically Bitcoin and to a lesser extent Ethereum, and then sometimes might trade some of the stocks related to it around it. But no, I do not day trade the coins. I do not have an active trader account. I basically just have a Coinbase account, and it's a HODL account. I don't actively trade in and out. Own it, don't trade it.
Q's coming down there. SPY looking like it wants to break down. Maybe SOX S now. SOX S starting to hold that 2450, looking like it wants to start making the move there might scalp it here towards 25. It doesn't look like a bad opportunity. But then again, you still aren't getting the true breakdown, right? Do we want to still be early to the move, or do we want to see that move happen? I think I'm going to look to see that move happen, because what will happen is a lot of these longs will let go. We'll take a look at a stock like Wayfair for that perfect example, right? Stock's been an absolute monster. But if it starts breaking through 57, 55, 52, how long will the longs hold before they start breaking their mentality? Something that I'm going to keep in mind when I see the downside action. But then again, look at the SPY, right? Recovery. It's just a chop out there. We need to see if it's actually going to choose a direction right now. Trades are really starting to fall off the tape too. Affirm. Looking around to see some of the.
What kind of price point are we at on Affirmed?
Oh man, honestly, I would short it, but the borrows are crazy now for me.
Yeah.
So I remember when I called that one short in the 40s and 50s. Oh, that shit. That's it's just one of those that like one of the things that I need to start doing more and more is trying to do some longer term positions and then just trying to hold on to them, because really that's where I've seen the gains, right? And I know a lot of people talk about long-term positions, but the truth is when you get a nice winner and it just continues to work for you, there's nothing like it. You wake up every day sometimes and you're just like, damn, just more money, more money.
That is not something I'm familiar with. I hope one day I can relate to that. I just
on swings, I'm sure. I'm sure you taking some swings that are like that. I know I took some swings that are like that.
Yeah, it doesn't cause me to wake up feeling that way. I know what you're saying. No, yes.
You know.
Damn, more money every morning. What am I going to do?
It's like, shit, I got another $1,000.
Shit. Shit.
Wild. That was wild.
It was just funny. The way you said it made me laugh. Oh, that's good stuff.
More money, more problems, they say. But Jan, I'm all out of the GE swing. Got out of that yesterday during the show. It took my profits and ran. I'm glad because GE actually popped on bad earnings. So I'm looking for maybe getting reshort GE, but this market needs to change right now. It's holding on there. You see GE right now went up there towards 80. It got close to my entry too. Remember, my entry was like 80.17s. So I think we would have wicked there through it today. Yeah, 80.20s. I definitely wouldn't have let that go into a red. There's one thing I definitely have rules on swing trades is we don't let them go red. After we made some money, we don't ever let them go red.
And I did that on the day trade here, right? Moving the stop up just to make sure the trade can't go red.
Mm-hmm. Here's the SPY trying again through the 399.50s, and it goes right towards 47. Stops right there. You see the 40 has been rejecting it. 56 here, 53 here. We'll see if we actually get the run eventually. When we finally do get the run, what are we looking for really? Is closing of like a 5-minute or bigger time frame, maybe even a 15-minute. Now that we're deeper into the markets, it's 10:40, right? I'd wanted to see it get through that 400 to actually close up there, just like I would want to see a close below 398 if I was a bear. And probably you guys are saying in the chat, but you are a bear.
You are.
I've lived long enough to be called a perma bear and a perma bull, so I feel accomplished in that regard.
Hey, the crow knows. The crow knows. Try to spot me. The Heat.
So what game are you going to?
Hornets. I'll be right behind the rim. I'm always trying to be right behind the rim, so I'm pretty close. About like 6-7 rows back.
Do you make all that like waving, try to get people to miss free throws?
Yeah, miss free throws, or like I'll rock the Tyler Hero when he's taking the shot. You know,
That's sick.
Hero. Or should I wear the Butler?
I mean, you're asking
always a hard
me. You gotta go
decision.
Jimmy buckets. Come on now.
I like wearing the buckets. You can't go wrong wearing the buckets. Not many people mess with you when you're wearing the buckets, right? I mean, Jimmy, buckets, bro. Come on.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, and I actually like it here in Charlotte because it probably won't even be that cold. I probably won't have to wear a sweater. I mean, if it was Denver, I mean, I'd be wearing a hoodie, I'd have a hat on.
I'm excited for tomorrow because
stadium.
here in Chicago, we're expecting more snow, and I can't wait for that.
Nice.
It's actually cold right now, right? How's it in the ATL?
Yeah, I've got well, it's about, I don't know, like 37 degrees or so, but I've got a little heater here, space heater next to me.
I was wondering how you weren't rocking a hoodie.
Yeah, no, I've got a nice little space heater next to me.
There you go.
I'll be honest, it's tough for me to wear hoodies when I'm on my computer because I actually have 2 computers here, and my office is always warm. So
You
it's
got your own heat.
like
Wait,
I'll
what's the
be in
second
here.
computer for gaming?
Well, it was my older computer. It happened to work. So actually what I've done now is I've set it up to stream. So I actually game on the main machine and send the signal to the streaming machine, and that streams it to Twitch.
Oh, I
damn,
like
that's
it. I
pretty
like
cool.
it.
Two PC
It's
setup.
interesting. It's interesting you mentioned that because I don't know if you guys can see it, but I literally have my second PC just hanging out there.
Yep. That's
Hanging
how
out.
I need to like do something with that.
So Zunaid, that's
work.
exactly how it was. I had my second older PC literally just hanging out here. And then when I bought a new monitor on Black Friday, I had too many monitors. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up that second PC so I can watch monitors. So now I've got 5 screens, can watch stuff. It's sweet.
I might have
All
to
right,
look into
team.
that.
I'm
That's
taking
sick.
the last trade of the day. And believe it or not, I'm going bullish here for the move. We got up there at 399.80s. I'm going to hold to 399.50s on the SPY. Took stocks out to the upside here. We'll see what happens. I got 1451. Look to see if the VWAP holds. Really want to see that kind of start holding. Want to see the SPY take through the 400s. We'll see what happens right now. If it doesn't happen, then I'll just call it a day. It'll just be kind of a little bit of a wash day because I'm kind of like right by break even. I'm going to give a little bit of risk to try to make some profits today. But this market is just tough, man. Every time we've gotten to that 400, we got to 399.95 this time. Reject the move. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get through there. The big reason why I'm doing this is more the hourly chart. I went to looking at the hourly chart on the SPY overall. And what does this look like? Well, this looks more like what? Like a descending triangle, right? You got the horizontal line here. You got the descending line here. Are we going to just start pushing through that 400? Give it a shot. See what happens, right?
Ticker GNS. We bought some at the 5 test at 503. It's up at 524s now, or 523s, excuse me. Let's see if we can get to 530 and give us some profits. But it is, a 1-to-1 trade has been met. Kind of part of me just wants to go ahead and take it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The real key there is going to be if we go above 550 there.
Yeah.
That would, to me, I'll say it early. I could easily be wrong here. To me, the trigger is going to be 550. We move above 550 on any kind of volume. I think the stock gets nuts here today. Keep this one on your radar for another afternoon runner. BXRX, we talked about that one. That's really kind of bled down here. Has really not had much of anything since that initial move up to 689.
All right, here's what we'll do, Ryan.
BXRX.
We'll move it up. You convinced me. I will Venmo request for butter chicken if you're wrong. 588 is where we'll move our profit targets. Our stop loss will stay the same.
Butter
We want to manage
chicken.
our risk. So we'll see if we can get a whatever this is, an 8-to-1 trade on this one or not. So 588 is where I'll look to take some profits if we can go ahead and pop above.
Smash the like button if you guys been enjoying all the action today. We got over 450 of you guys. Show that you guys appreciate us on every single day. Live right here in front of you guys and doing some trading action. We'll look to see what happens. More rejection there.
What was that?
Just doesn't seem like we want to make a move today. Could be an inside day. Who knows?
Wouldn't be
See what
surprised at all, but would not be surprised. Because here, let's go ahead and take a look at. That's literally right where we're kind of at, right? This is our range at the moment. That's where we're at. Let's see if it can go ahead and poke above or not. But so far, an inside day, very well could be in the mix. I got a quick position here in Apple for 100 shares. If it goes and closes below this 5-minute candle at the 142 or 1 or above, I'll go ahead and add about a couple more 100 shares for a total of 300. Stop loss probably risk about 100, 150 bucks or so. But it's been kind of tapping and it's relatively strong, right? So the market's down about 0.25%. Apple's up about 0.5%. So it has relative strength. So does Netflix. So does Meta. If you're looking at Netflix, a pop above 362 and a 5-minute candle close, you can take a look at the upside. You can see you've got support at 357s, excuse me, during the day. But that 362, got to get above that if you're looking to go long. On Meta, 145, clean as day. Skip pop pop. Let's see if we get it.
399.80s. Can we get through it, team? Will StockX take off? Will Apple go to new highs? Will Tesla Bounce off the floor. Get through the VWAP. Get back up there to 146.
Bounce off the floor. Speaking of bouncing off the floor, how about HOLO, right? HOLO, that stock, man. High is 2265 in the pre-market session, currently printing at 10. So just a massive, massive sell-off here for HOLO. Really didn't have much of anything. Really just had this one bounce here, 13 to 15-ish. That's it, man. Rough. Woo! Rough.
Mitch brings the energy, man. Can't hate that. Grateful to
Always too loud.
Grateful to God is asking, Robinhood requires a day trader hold 25,000. Is that just Robinhood's problem or is that a regulatory thing? It's a regulatory thing. So it doesn't matter if you go to Thinkorswim, this, that, the other, you have to have $25,000 if you want to day trade on margin. Why do I go ahead and talk that way in that manner? If you want to day trade, you absolutely can with less than 25,000. You have to have what's called a cash account. And the way that it works, you can go ahead and Google it. I'll help you a little bit out with that one. But basically, say you have a $10,000 account and you use $1,000 to trade options or equity. Now you have $9,000 remaining till that $1,000 you just used to trade settles, and then it gets batted back to your bank. So look into it, but you can day trade. If you have less than 25,000, you have to have what's called a cash account. Check it out.
The other thing about that is that I think that there are some offshore accounts that are not subject to that rule, but that's a whole other can of worms that I would not advise.
Yeah.
I have no experience with it, and I would not advise it.
Yeah.
I have experience with it. I think you just got to know. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing then.
So let me ask you this, Mitch.
Mitch.
I've been looking into, Mitch, you might know this since you've been doing some stuff. By the way, I hope your CMT stuff is going well. I have been looking into prop firms, right? I think you brought it up maybe a few months ago.
Why not?
Whether it's for futures or stocks. Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, why not? Bright Trading.
I was going to say, Dennis, Bright Trading.
Well, maybe I don't. So when I say prop firms, I'm talking about the ones that where you pay like a monthly thing. You go through an eval, and once you get whatever, you go ahead. Yeah. So maybe
there is one
terminology. What are those called?
Because there's different types of prop firms, right?
So
there's going to be prop firms where you're trying to pay for a package. There's going to be prop firms where more along you're bringing some equity and they're giving you margin. Essentially, they're both the same thing. One's going to require some capital. One's going to be trading that prop firm's capital, right? Completely. And so there are some out there. Quantum bringing up one right now, Top Step.
That's the one I'm familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah, I do know beginner trading. I do know beginner trading right now. My friend John London, if you guys don't know who he is, you guys can check him out. Beginner trading. I never try to limit you guys on resources. You guys can always check out resources. Feel free. Beginner Trading has a channel. I used to be on that channel. I know that he's been kind of pushing Top Steps. So I'm going to ask him a little bit deeper into it to get some actual insight. I'm not going to say it's good just yet, but if he's talking about it,
make the intro.
Yeah, if he's talking about it, I would at least take a look, right? Like always, if someone that I trust is at least doing something, doesn't mean I'm going to automatically just take their word for it, right? Like always, we do our own research, especially when it comes to our own money, right? But we'll see what happens there. It is an opportunity out there. They're like monthly. I think you got to pay like 100 or 200 or whatever it is, and you get access. You do got to prove that you are profitable. I think you got to take like a kind of a demo for them.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly it works. Right now, I'm not going to support them, but is it an option out there for traders? Yes. But one thing I would say though, and I think that I've gone through this and because I've tried to grow in small accounts, and I'm just going to go back to the SPY right now because triple top, will we get a fourth top here? No, 400 breakthrough. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Oh my God,
here
the
as well.
lag.
We'll see what happens there. Can we get through it? We got through it for a second. There's Soxel with a nice little breakout. Let's go, Soxel. Are you going to get moving or what? Look at Microsoft coming down on this. I'm like, come on, man. We want to see some breakouts on this. Apple's going for the push.
Yeah, so
NVIDIA?
we're in Apple. We're already in
NVIDIA's
Apple
going.
here. I'm not going to add just yet, but I am going to. So Apple long position is at 141.80. So we already talked about this one. Y'all knew it. Let's see where I want to go ahead and have my stop losses. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and take my gains at a simple 1-to-1. So right around, let's say right there. So if it goes high day, we'll go ahead and take our gains. I am also in NVIDIA. I just got this one, 192.18, since that 5-minute candle closed above the 192.08. Stop loss for me is going to be about 191.46. See if we can take profits at about 192.90s. So those are the two trades that I'm currently in.
There's a little push there. We got to as high as 445. So that's actually looking good. Now look at it on the 5-minute. We actually opened the candle above 400. Look to see if that candle doesn't break 400 right now in 5 minutes. Will show me a lot. We'll see if we actually close above that 400. We could start pushing. Remember, I talked about how the hourly SPY looked more bullish to me. And that's why I went with this last little position to the upside. We'll see if we actually can get up there towards 401. That's kind of the next stop towards the upside. If we can get through 401, we'll really start looking like we want to get a little bit of a push back towards daily highs, right? Yesterday, we got a close of 439. We went up there a pretty significant amount in the intraday. I'd see the high towards 402.65. Let's see if we start pushing.
Yeah, we're pushing, baby.
I'll let you handle that, Zunaid. I am going to hop here, get back to my daily activities, folks. This was a good one today. Wild open, but we managed. We figured it out and we're able to make some trades. So keep an eye on some of these that we talked about, GNS in particular, this afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
See ya. I'm going to quickly just go ahead and recap all my trades, and then I'll go ahead and bounce here as well. So Apple, we're about to take profits here. Matter of fact, $4. I'd love me a Big Mac, but I'm going to go ahead and sell this one here. $45 gains. We're good on that one. On NVIDIA, woo, baby, we're moving to the upside now. We're about 20 bucks away. Excuse me, we're about, 20 cents away from profits on NVIDIA. The reason is because we went above this 192.08 on the 5-minute candle. So I set my stop losses to make sure it's a 1-to-1 trade. And you also had the SPY that went above 400. Now, what's going to get interesting is if we can go ahead and close this 5-minute candle above their previous close of 463, currently trading up around cents on that one. But I think another trade I might still have on is GNS, which, for fun, because Ryan, told me it's going to go to the moon. I'm kidding. He didn't. Is this one here. We've got 200 shares. We could take profits here easily for $50, but I'm going to shoot for the moon here and try to see if we can go to 588 like we did yesterday. If we do, great. Or I think what I might actually do is also just move 100 shares here to 546, and then 100 shares at 588. That way I'm scaling out. But those are my trades. Solid, profitable day. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces. Bye, Mitch.
Later, brother. Have a good one, Zunaid. Zunaid's getting out of here. I'm going to try to take a look right now to see if we get that 5-minute close above, to see if I hold on to my sock sell or just run towards the profit. Got to a high there of 1465. Wanted to just see if we can hold here on the 5-minute candle here on the SPY. This will be closing right at 11. That's what I'll wrap up, team. And then at 11:30, you guys got Benzinga Live. That will be coming up in just a few minutes. We'll see what happens there. It's been a fun day. I mean, up and down, up and down. Actually got into the red a little bit there with that last SQQQ. Trying to get it all back and a little bit more here to the upside on this sock sell. We'll see what happens. We did get through the 400. Let's see it. Triple BY 4-minute cup, says the crow. I'll put triple BY up for a second or two. I'm looking at ALB also for a little bit longer term, but let's go back there. Triple BY. Looks like it is trying to get back above the VWAP. That would be the 350s. I'm just not sure I'll be looking at that trade today, but hey, to each his own. Here comes the pullback on the SPY there. Now we're towards 444. Can we hold like kind of the 430 area, that daily level, right? Daily level close yesterday, 439. We're right on that. Look to see if we can actually close there above that on the pullbacks. Got to a high there of 475 there on the SPY. Starting to pull back here. Not what we want to see, but we want to see if it can continue. How long do we got? We got about 10 seconds left here on this candle here. We're about to hit 11 o'clock here. There's 40s. There you go. A little bit of a ramp back here towards the close of the candle. The candle closed there at 452. That seems bullish to me. Like always, you guys make your own investment decisions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for sock sell to make the push towards 1475. If it does make that push to 1475, going to sell majority of it there. I'll hold break even on the rest. 1449 average there. We'll look to see if it gets to that 1475. And overall, Apple to the right-hand side making new highs there. We'll look for Microsoft if it can come back towards the highs. Tesla, can it come back and hold VWAP? It's starting to come back up there. Doesn't look too bad right now. We'll see what happens on these stocks. And don't forget, Microsoft does have earnings tonight. That could shake everything up by tomorrow. We'll find out, team. All right, like always, that's going to do it for me right here on Live Trading. I'm getting out of here, team. I'll see you guys on Benzinga Live. That's starting up in about 30 minutes. Don't go anywhere, team. Hit the like. I'll see you guys in a few. And don't forget, Stock Market Movers later today, where you guys get the expert opinions about what they see out there. Who knows? You might get some insight.
Check.